Alright, my friend Wilbur said that I should do this. Looking at our YouTube analytics. It's actually been like a good month and a bit since we've done one of these, surprisingly. We're going to be looking at the YouTube analytics of a video that did average. We're going to be looking at the YouTube analytics of a video that kind of flopped. And we're going to be looking at the YouTube analytics of a video that went viral. 1 million views! We can find out how much money we got from 1 million views. We can take a deep dive into the analytics, the watch time, see if we can work out what it is that made the video go from my usual 150,000 views all the way to 1 million views. Now, just quickly, before we get into all this, I do want to announce that I will be going to Insomnia Gaming Festival, which is on from the 10th to the 13th of April in Birmingham. It's a really fun event that I've been to a few times. I'll be doing a meet and greet on the Friday and the Saturday, which hopefully Editor Kai will be able to join. Maybe even Mini Mooker will be knocking about somewhere nearby. So if you want tickets for that, use my special link. It's at the top of the description. Okay, see you there. So let's start off with this one. This is my average video. It's at 165,000 views in the last like week and a half, which is really good. For the past like 2 years or something, my goal has just been to get to a point where we're getting at least 100,000 views per video, which we're just about at these days. Watch time is 18,000 hours. Subscribers gained is 125. Estimated earnings is 265. That's just the overview. We can get deeper in a second, but first, let's go to the analytics of a video that underperformed. I made this YouTube playlist in 2013, so this video came out one day after the other one, but you can see it got 89,000 views, which, you know, that's great. But if we have a look at my channel, that's the first video in like a month that got less than 100,000 views, so I guess we could call that a flop. Although what's very strange is our flop actually made slightly more money than our video that got double the amount of views. Look at that, £290 to £265. So I guess in some ways, the video that did better is actually more of a flop if we were to look at this in a this is my job, I need to make money kind of way. I assume the reason it made slightly more money is that it is 17 minutes long as opposed to 14 minutes, so I was probably able to add an extra mid-roll. Let's take a look at that. The shorter video has 1, 2, 3, 4, and the longer video has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Side note, before we go any further, 5 adverts on a 17-minute video, that sounds a bit scumbaggy. But just because I added 5 adverts, most people that watched the video, they probably only got 1 or 2, if any. I had a meeting with an employee from YouTube like a week ago, and he said that I should actually be adding more mid-rolls than I currently am. And that's because basically there are way more YouTube videos than there are adverts to put in front of those YouTube videos. So if you put 5 ad breaks, no one's actually ever going to get an advert every single time. All you're doing by adding more is increasing your chances of one popping up, which obviously when this is your job and you're trying to earn money, that is a good thing. So let's take a look at this graph. So when I hover over it, it shows exactly how many views it had in its first 20 hours, 22 hours, 23 hours. So if we go to the 24-hour period, after exactly 24 hours from it being uploaded, this video had 121,999 views, which is in our channel average. You can see it says typically in this period you get about 99,000 to 160,000 views. So it's doing about average. As I said, whenever I wake up and I check the previous night's video, if it's on over 100,000, I'm always really happy with that. If it's under 100,000, I get a little bit sad because it breaks my 100k streak, and it means that there's something I've not done quite right because less people are interested in it. So let's compare that with our flop. After exactly 24 hours, the video had 69,098 views. So it's like 20,000 under our average. Nearly half as many people clicked on this one as the other video from the previous day. Now, there's a couple of reasons as to why this is. I think a big reason was that this video was just fairly similar to other stuff I'd done that week. You know, I reacted to my old tweets. I reacted to a video someone made about me. And then this one, I react to a playlist I made several years ago. I think I overdid the reaction stuff that week just because I was struggling to come up with some new ideas. Let's take a look at the audience retention of both videos. Our video that did just above average has an audience retention of 45%. We can get more detail on that as well, which is very interesting. So you can see 100% of people were watching right at the start, which makes sense. But in the first 9 seconds, 10% of people clicked off and went somewhere else. That probably sounds a bit rough, but it's pretty average. Most YouTubers will have an audience retention of about 40 to 50% average on their videos. But that immediate drop-off of 10% of people, that's sad. They better have watched an advert or something before they left. So by the time we get about halfway through the video, there's only 40% of people still watching. And then you always see a steeper drop-off here right at the end. This is because I'm doing my outro, maybe I'm plugging my Twitter account or telling people to subscribe. Casual viewers aren't bothered about that, and they'll be starting to move on to find another video to watch. Now, our flop has a low watch time, but it's not that much lower. It's 43%. And because the video is longer, people actually watched for more time. Average view duration was 7.5 minutes as opposed to 6 minutes 30. But because the video is longer, that is overall a lower percentage, but not by much. So this one we lost even more than 10%. We lost like 13% of our viewers in the first 10 seconds. But there's a couple of bumps, which I'm worried about. This means that people either skipped ahead or they went back and they watched this bit again. And because this was a video where I reacted to cringy playlists, I'm guessing when I click here, it's going to be something embarrassing.
A lovely, lovely beer. Takes quite a while. Looks like we might need a little bit more malt. Malt for days!
Apparently people can get enough of malt for days. This one once again has that drop off at the end. You can see I'm doing my normal intro, I'm like plugging my hoodie and stuff, people are disappearing. Then I cut to this outro from 2013, which probably surprised people and kept them around a little bit longer, but I'm seeing a big drop off about to happen, and I think that's because there's quite a lot of like just black screen. Yeah, just after this bit. So basically the video's ended there. Even though there's like another 22 seconds of video, there's nothing else going on, it's just this music. So obviously people are just going to drop off, and only 9.6% of people watch till the very end. And honestly, I judge you 9.6% of people, because there is nothing going on there. Everything's fairly similar on a video that did well and a video that didn't so far. So we're definitely going to have to dive a bit deeper in it, and let's go to reach instead. So traffic sources, this is how people found our videos. So 74% of the 164,000 people that watched this video, they found it from browse features, which is things like the recommended, the subscription tab, the home page. That's pretty common for all videos. Now if we compare that with our flop, instead of 74%, it's a slightly more modest 65%. And you can see that YouTube have showed this video to 950,000 people, but only 5.4% of people actually clicked on it. I'll be really interested to see the impression click-through rate of our 1 million viewed video, but we'll get to that shortly. Now compared to the video that did well, YouTube showed it to more people, 1.3 million. I don't necessarily know why they showed it to an extra 300,000 people. I guess it had a better first 24 hours, so the algorithm thought it was a better video, or thought they'd whack it on a couple more people's homepages or something, I don't know. Which led to an impressions click-through rate of 8.2%, which still sounds low, but that's actually pretty good. What's really interesting is we can actually see the specific video that people were watching when they clicked on ours. So 5% of the views came from YouTube's most satisfying video, which isn't one of my videos. Let's find out whose it is. Alright, it's a Will Any second channel video. So apparently YouTube shoved my video over here. My content on this channel is quite similar to S2W, so I'm assuming that a lot of my audience watch him as well. Now if we look at our flop, our biggest video was testing Tesla Summon while inside the car, which is my own video, but it's one of my videos from my Tesla channel. This is the one I uploaded to my gaming channel. This is that video itself, so I don't quite know how that works. That's my video, and then that's my video as well. Whereas this is a Will and E video, this is my video, my video, my video, and then Hermitcraft episode 6, 2.4% of the total views came from that. I've no idea. Analytics are weird. So let's take a look at our subscribers on the flop video. So overall, we actually lost 21 subscribers. Literally, as soon as it came out, 21 people clicked it and then unsubscribed. Then we lost a couple more. Then over a 3-day period, some new people watched it, and 4 of them subscribed. Then someone unsubbed. So overall, we lost 21 people, which I'd say makes sense. Imagine you subscribe to this channel because you liked my GeoGuessr videos, and then you see that I've done 3 reaction videos in a row. That could definitely make you change your mind and unsubscribe. But in comparison, our good video, we overall gained 125. Look at this, it just keeps on going up. This is fantastic. Right, we really need to get to our viral video, don't we? Basically, even though one video got twice as many views as the other, the analytics are fairly similar. I think the issue was that the flop video just wasn't as interesting a concept. It's just me looking at an old playlist as opposed to some guy bought YouTube ads on my video. What? Oh, here it is. Look at this viral video. 1 million views. Jesus, that's a lot of money. Kai, get that blurred right this second. We're trying to remain relatable out here. Okay, so if we look at the views graph on our YouTube ads video, it's like, whoa. Look at the views graph on our old playlist video. It's the same, but just a bit smaller. Whoa. But we look at the views graph on our viral video, and it's got a big sharp bit. Look at that. You could cut yourself on that. So basically, first 24 hours. Typically, in this period, at this point in time on my channel, I'd get about 70,000 to 100,000 views. This video got 250,000. And that's because, not to float my own boat or anything, it was a pretty unreal video. I told everyone to unsubscribe from me, and now YouTube is mad. As far as I'm aware, I'm the first person that's ever done this video concept, where we literally encouraged people to unsubscribe from our channel. So it got a lot more people clicking on it from subscriptions. Then YouTube are like, wow, a lot of people are clicking on this and then watching it quite a long way through. Therefore, let's whack it in the homepage of like some other people, and maybe they'll click on it as well. So views slowed down after day 1, but they're still great. You can see we're way above the channel average. And then it starts picking up further, and in the first 6 days it was past 500,000, which is way better than my average. And then after it hit the kind of 800k mark, it did start slowing down a lot, and it's just kind of been trickling since. You can see that currently it's had 6,000 views in the last 2 days, which if we compare it to its first week, it gained like 200,000 views in that time period. But it is still growing slowly. You can see that it trickled past 1 million. I'd assume at this point that it's not being shown to people that aren't subscribed to me. These views here are probably just people that are binge watching my content, and YouTube YouTuber recommending the next video after the next video. What's interesting though is the audience retention. The average is about the same as every other video that we've looked at. So let's get a closer look and see if that is just the same. Do we have that immediate 10% drop off? We do. We have 10% people click off within the first like 10 seconds. But when you consider that this is a viral video with lots of new people that have never heard of me before, you could suspect that that would be even worse. This graph's a lot more bumpy as well, rather than just a slow decline. And you can see it actually ends up going back up around this point. We're down to 34%, but a minute later, it's up to 43%. What this will be is new viewers skipping ahead because they're getting a bit bored and they just want to see the outcome. So if we watch that part of the video, I'm assuming it's the point we go below 100k. And yes, it is. It's literally the exact point. There we go. That makes total sense. Actually, didn't we do a little time lapse like around here? A lot of people don't have time for a time lapse. They are plus 10 seconds right through that. And then once again, big drop off in the outro at the end. Once again, most of the views came from browse features. I want to see what our biggest video was. 20% of our views came from one of my videos. 10% of our views, so that's like 100,000 views, was 60,000 extreme hide and seek challenge. Whose video was that? Let's see. It was a Mr. Beast video. We got 100,000 views from Mr. Beast. Thank you, Mr. Beast. Right, this is pretty mental. We gained 17,000 subscribers. Can we just compare that to losing 21 people? This one video, 17,000 new people subscribed to the channel. So yeah, joking aside, looking at the revenue, £2,600 is a crazy amount of money for just one video. That is broke down into money I got from adverts and also money I got from YouTube Premium. Lots of people get YouTube Premium and then they ask me, are they still supporting the channel financially if they have it and it gets rid of all the adverts? Yes, you are. Don't worry about it. If you want Premium, creators that you like aren't going to make less money. The only reason that this number is so much smaller than this number is because a lot less people have YouTube Premium than people who don't have YouTube Premium. What I'm learning from looking at all of this data is the thing that makes a video go viral is the video being good. Here we have a video I recorded in about 40 minutes where I looked at a YouTube playlist. And then here we have a video with a unique concept that no one else has ever done. And it actually took a few hours to film the whole thing. Who knew? What a breakthrough. If you want your videos to go viral, they have to be good. This is crazy news. Obviously though, it isn't just that. As long as the video being good, it's massively important that your title and your thumbnail are good as well. I think that this Fiverr video could have done better, but I just was really struggling with what to title it. I thought that this Discord video was really funny, but because the thumbnail and the title is such a weirdly specific thing that's out of character for my channel, a lot of people didn't click on it, compared to the video next to it, which got 7 times as many views. Now let's look at something slightly different. We've seen here that a video that does really well in its first 24 hours is likely to go on and do really well over the next couple of weeks. But that's not always the case. Sometimes you have these little creepers. The other day I was looking at my GeoGuessr videos, and I realized that like a bunch of them from 6 months ago, they've got a ton of views. 670,000, 500,000, another 600,000. And when I released them, they did alright. They didn't do anything special. You can see that this GeoGuessr video, which now has 640,000 views, in its first 24 hours, all it got was 58,000. And you can see that in its first 7 days, all it got was 100,000, which is just fairly average for my channel. But it just kept slowly climbing because I do seem to have a bit of a GeoGuessr following at the minute. Even if they're not necessarily subscribed because they're not bothered about all my other stuff, there is a considerable number of people that just seem to be stumbling upon my GeoGuessr videos in their recommended. This video just kept on climbing. After the first 60 days, we had 275,000 views, which is better than my average. But it just kept on trickling. And I think this is because of the audience retention. 54%, which is the highest we've seen. It's an extra 10% on the other videos, which in terms of watch time is a really big deal. Basically, what I've learned is watch time is the key here. I think the GeoGuessrs generally have a higher watch time because people end up playing along and trying to guess where the locations are themselves. So that keeps them involved, and a lot of people want to watch all 5 rounds and they want to see what score I end up with. I think the unsubscribing video did well because right at the very start I made it clear that the goal was to get less than 100,000 subscribers. So lots of people stick around until we get less than 100,000 subscribers. Picking out a bunch of our most viewed videos. PewDiePie versus T-Series 1. From the very start, the goal was to get Larry more subs than Barry, so people stick around till that happens. Scratch Card decides how long to ban Minecraft hackers. People stick around because they say I've got 10 scratch cards and they want to wait until all of them have been scratched so they can see if I've won any money. This kid made a diss track on me, so I made one back. People stick around until they've seen my diss track, etc, etc. I can keep making examples. Basically, step 1 is make a good video, and step 2 is, if possible, try and come up with some kind of goal near the beginning of the video so people can stick around to see you achieve that goal. Anyway, let's end off this video. As we've seen, there's only probably about 3 people watching at this point, so I don't think I'll bother with an outro. I don't think it's worth it. Instead, I'm just gonna, check my Twitter notifications or something.